Hi, it's Lew with David for Life the Basic Manual. Last game of the season, Manchester United versus Cardiff City, and another debacle. But let's back up a little bit and go to the start of the season when Jose Mourinho predicted how we would struggle. In his opinion, he more or less said that it's going to be a really difficult season, despite the fact that we finished second last year, and how right he was proved. In fact, it's turned out even worse than what we thought. Mourinho himself, of course, as we know, only lasted till December. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer then took over under, I think, the influence of Sir Alex Ferguson. I might remind everybody, the same man that was influential in appointing David Moyes several years ago. But Ole started off very well. In fact, he started off phenomenally well, and he won game after game and set up all sorts of records, 8 consecutive away wins. Everything seemed to be going his way. Then he lost an odd game, and our executive chairman, Ed Woodward, decided in his wisdom that now was the time to appoint him as full-time permanent manager before the end of the season, which to many people, including myself, was a bad move. Immediately the wheels of the famous song that we've got with him now fell off almost completely, and now we've finished up with this debacle today against Cardiff City, and that's now the 8th defeat in 12 matches. Now, just talking a little bit about today's game, I mean, there were plenty of opportunities for United to score, but in the end, the goalkeeper and some really poor finishing meant that we couldn't score for the, I don't know how many, umpteen time this season at Old Trafford. Even in the European games, I recall that we only scored 1 goal in 5 attempts, 5 games, and that really was pathetic. But today's game, as I say, we started off quite lively, quite well. But unfortunately, Dalot gave away a penalty, which was converted with some ease. That took us to half-time. In the second half, for some unaccountable reason, we lost all possession, all knowledge of where we were supposed to be, and a second goal went in, and you could see what was coming. In fact, very little was coming after that, and we finished up losing 2-0, which was a horrible way to finish what was a horrible season, especially in view of the fact that the 5 teams around us, we used to call it the top 6, but the 5 teams around us are all playing for something and have been today. Finish, of course, with City retaining the title. Liverpool have got the European Cup final. City have got the Cup final and the FA Cup final next week, and Arsenal and Chelsea fight it out for the Europa League, where we will be competing next season, providing, of course, we don't lose in some sort of qualifier if it turns out that way. So really, it has been a really bad season. Manchester United have been a bit of a laughingstock recently, and although people will talk today about the City and Liverpool title battle, there will be plenty of discussion about how things have gone under Solskjaer and really whether he is the man for the job. Personally, I think not. I think we took him on too quickly, and I think that had we waited, I think Mauricio Pochettino, although it would have cost us a small fortune to get him from Tottenham, would have been available and would have really liked to come here and take on the role of manager next season. Where Solskjaer goes from here with these players, it's very, very difficult to say. There are a number that clearly want to be away. There are some that we have to dispose of. People like Antonio Valencia, great servant, has now finished his tenure here. The players like Ashley Young, who can't be relied on really anymore at fullback. The centre halves, Smalling was reasonable today, although Phil Jones again looks very, very ropey to me and doesn't really need another 4.5-year contract for a player who has hardly played 1 in 2 games since he's been at Old Trafford. The midfield is very, very weak as well. Pogba, is he going to be here next year? Is he not? Well, that's another question. Players like Pereira and Fred and Matic and Mata all really are not first-rate top players and can't compete to play in any of the other top 5 teams' midfield. Up front, Marcus Rashford is very quick, he's direct, but his finishing is not what you would expect of an England centre-forward, and he's, again today, had 2 or 3 really good opportunities, perhaps a little bit unlucky with the goalkeeper Etherington playing an exceptional game, but we didn't really have anything to break them down with. So here we are at the end of the season. It's been a great disappointment. We now move on to the summer transfer market, and maybe Manchester United can compete with many of the others, although it's difficult to say. I mean, there's no Champions League football here, and we can offer good money, we can offer good contracts and various things like that, but we can't offer the top of the table Champions League football that we demand here, and it's going to be rather a frantic summer for Solskjaer. Will Ed Woodward have the confidence enough to give him maybe £200-300 million? Can he really remould the team, rebuild it? Will he have to start from scratch if players like Pogba and David De Gea, who has also been not at his best, particularly in the last month or so this season, will he be able to continue and go, or will he move on to pastures new? Ander Herrera seems to be ready to move to France. There is talk of other players departing, but really it's been a very, very difficult, disappointing season. We couldn't really say that there's anything. Scott McTominay maybe has shown recent good form and seems to be fitting in well into the side in whatever role he plays, but the rest of them, Anthony Martial again, very disappointing. Lukaku seems to put a lot of weight. I noticed that at the start of the season, and maybe he'll be another one to be offloaded. We need some players in every single department of the team. The defence is weak, the midfield is uncreative, and up front we just cannot score goals. Chance after chance has been missed this season. Okay, all teams have that, but again, when we do get the creativity in, there's nobody to finish off. Players like Fred have been a disastrous waste of £50-odd million. Dalot doesn't look bad going forward sometimes, but is a little bit slow, and defensively he leaves a lot to be desired. Where we can go from here, I don't know. I'm sorry to leave you all on a very disappointing end to the season, but have a good summer, and we'll see you, all being well, in August. Cheers from David and myself. Bye for now.
Thanks, Lew.